Vrinde Jaya Vrinde Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prati Devi Sachavachanamo Namaha Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prati Devi Sachavachanamo Namaha Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prati Devi Sachavachanamo Namaha Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prati Devi Sachavachanamo Namaha Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prati Devi Sachavachanamo Namaha Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prati Devi Sachavachanamo Namaha Tulsi Maharam Jai. Now let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desires trees and fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for all unconditioned souls. So much for Pani's painting.
Yeah, it came down during Mongol art day.
I heard it.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
It kind of came not real close to me, but it was closest to Raghu while I was trying to sing.
Yeah, I heard it go kaboom. I was kind of not looking at the screen at that moment, so I couldn't actually see it. But, wow. It was really
It just
loud.
came sort of sliding down. Decapitated somebody. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was. It was startling. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Stotara. His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananti Koshti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Shri Gangamai Ki Jai, Shri Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading about the big fight with Jarasandha and Bhimsen, while Lord Krishna and Arjuna are watching on the whole sport. And we're going to be beginning with text number 35, although I just want to read text number 34, the English, to give context. And text number 34 states that the two heroes, Bhima and Jarasandha, thus began battling each other on the level, fighting grounds outside the city. Maddened with the fury of combat, they struck each other with their lightning bolt-like clubs. So they just started fighting, so this is text 35. Mandalani vichitrani savyam dakshinam cha charato sushubhe yudham natayori varangino mandalani vichitrani savyam dakshinam cha charato sushubhe yudham natayori varangino mandalani vichitrani savyam dakshinam cha charato sushubhe yudham natayori varangino. Mandalani vichitrani savyam dakshinam cha
Charato Shushube Yudham Jata Varangino Mandalani Vichitrani Saksham Dakshinameva Cha Charato Shushube Yudham Natayori Varangino Mandalani Vichitrani Savyam Dakshinameva Cha Charato Shushube Yudham Natayori Varangino Mandalani Vichitrani Savyam Dakshinameva Cha Charato Shushube Yudham Natayori Varangino Mandalani arcs Vichitrani skillful Savyam to the left Dakshinam to the right Eva Cha also Charato of them who were moving Sushube appeared splendid Yudham the fight Natayo of actors Eva like Rangino on a stage as they skillfully circled left and right like actors dancing on a stage. The fight presented a magnificent spectacle. Please repeat, as they skillfully circled left and right. Like actors dancing on a stage. The fight presented a magnificent spectacle. Purport. Jarasandha and Bhima here demonstrate their expertise in the use of clubs. Thus, it can be understood that both fighters were fearless and steady, even in the rage of battle. So, this is kind of a cliffhanger, so I don't think we can kind of chew too much on the beginning. We have to get through it. So I'm going to continue reading of this whole magnificent spectacle of this fight, which for a Kshatriya like me is very exciting. So this is text 36. I'm going to just read the English. When Jarasandha's and Bhimasena's clubs loudly collided, O king, the sound was like the impact of the big tusks of two fighting elephants, or the crash of a thunderbolt in a flashing electrical storm. Purport. This translation is based on Srila Prabhupada's Krishna. Text 37. They swung their clubs at each other with such speed and force that as the clubs struck their shoulders, hips, feet, hands, thighs, and collarbones, the weapons were crushed and broken like branches of arka trees with which two enraged elephants furiously attack each other. Text 38. Their clubs thus ruined, those great heroes among men angrily pummeled each other with their iron-hard fists. As they slapped each other, the sound resembled the crash of elephants colliding or harsh thunderclaps. Text 39. As they thus fought, this contest between opponents of equal training, strength, and stamina reached no conclusion, and so they kept on fighting, O king, without any let up. Purport. Some acharyas include the following two verses in the text of this chapter, and Srila Prabhupada has also translated them in Krishna. Evam tayor maharaja yudyato saptavimsati dinani niragams tatra suridvan nishitishtato ekada matuleyam vai praharajan rikodara na shakto ham jarasandam nirjetum yudhi madhava. Thus, O king, they continued to fight for 27 days. At the end of each day's fighting, both lived at night as friends in Jarasanda's palace. Then on the 28th day, O king, Vrikodara, Bhima, told his maternal cousin, Madhava, I cannot defeat Jarasandha in battle. Vrikodara, Bhima, name of Bhima, Vrikodara means wolf belly. So even the great Bhima could not defeat Jarasandha because he had this boon. He was equal in skill and prowess to Bhima. They were equally matched in strength, in training, in hand-to-hand combat, and neither was getting any sort of leeway. Lord Krishna knew the secret of his enemy Jarasandha's birth and death, and also how he had been given life by the demoness Jara. Considering all this, Lord Krishna imparted his special power to Bhima. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes that Lord Krishna knew the mystery of the birth of Jarasandha. Jarasandha was born in two different parts from two different mothers. When his father saw that the baby was useless, he threw the two parts in the forest, where they were later found by a black-hearted witch named Jara. She managed to join the two parts of the baby from top to bottom. Knowing this, Lord Krishna therefore also knew how to kill him. Text 41, having determined how to kill the enemy, that Lord of infallible vision made a sign to Bhima by tearing in half a small branch of a tree. Text 42, understanding this sign, mighty Bhima, the best of fighters, seized his opponent by the feet and threw him to the ground. Bhima pressed down on one leg with his foot while grabbing Jarasandha's other leg in his hands. And just as a great elephant might break the branch of a tree, Bhima tore Jarasandha apart from the anus upward. So he held his one leg down, grabbed his other leg, and ripped it up. Kind of like how Krishna bifurcated the big demon Bakasura, right? He ripped him in half. He ripped his beak in half. Understanding, oh yeah, okay, there's no purport. Bhima pressed down on one leg with Jarasandha, yeah. Okay, the king's subject then saw him lying in two separate pieces, each with a single leg, thigh, testicle, hip, shoulder, arm, eye, eyebrow, and ear, and with half a back and chest. What a gruesome scene. Jiva Goswami commented on this. The limbs are mentioned from lower to upper body, which could be interpreted as, apt, considering how Jarasandha was conducting himself in the lower modes during that whole time that he was, since his mother or since his life giver, Jara, had joined him in both spots. And it's also said that when he ripped apart that branch, Krishna also threw the two pieces in different directions. So Bhima would know that he shouldn't leave them near each other because they could reform. Some demons can shapeshift. As we know with Ravana, he kept popping up heads and different personalities like that. So Jarasandha was being prevented from reforming. Text 45, with the death of the Lord of Magadha, a great cry of lamentation arose, while Arjuna and Krishna congratulated Bhima by embracing him. And I'm just going to read a couple of these tikas because 46 is the last verse. Jiva Goswami, they worshipped him by saying, very good, and fanned him. His name is mentioned first in order to glorify him. Arjuna is called Jaya to indicate his suitability to assist in this endeavor. Krishna was fixed on considering him worthy of respect like himself, because, at that point, Bhima had dispatched this, he was quite a formidable demon. Back when Krishna was fighting with him, even Krishna, of course Krishna can do anything, but it was shown by Krishna that he was a very formidable opponent, because Krishna couldn't defeat him and then gave up after so many days because Jarasandha just kept sort of respawning his army, even though that was wiped out each time. And of course himself, he kept showing up, so he was quite a force. And text 46, the immeasurable Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sustainer and benefactor of all living beings, coronated Jarasandha's son, Sahadev, as the new ruler of the Magadhas. The Lord then freed all the kings Jarasandha had imprisoned. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, although Jarasandha was killed, neither Krishna nor the two Pandava brothers made a claim to the throne. Their purpose in killing Jarasandha was to stop him from creating a disturbance against the proper discharge of world peace. A demon always creates disturbances, whereas a demigod always tries to keep peace in the world. The mission of Lord Krishna is to give protection to the righteous persons and to kill the demons who disturb a peaceful situation. Therefore, Lord Krishna immediately called for the son of Jarasandha, whose name was Sahadev, and with due ritualistic ceremonies, he asked him to occupy the seat of his father and reign over the kingdom peacefully. Lord Krishna is the master of the whole cosmic creation, and he wants everyone to live peacefully and execute Krishna consciousness. After installing Sahadev on the throne, he released all the kings and princes who had been imprisoned unnecessarily by Jarasandha. Thus ends the purport of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, to the 10th canto, 72nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Slaying of the Demon Jarasandha. Om Jnanatinamandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pashtadade Siddharine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Abhi Krishna Das Goswami Niti Namine Namaham Sanekashaya Prabhupada Prayate Sudri Dasudi Nisyamam Tashavaki Nivadine. So this is such a satisfying, I think this is such a satisfying chapter, satisfying ending to this chapter, to this whole pastime regarding Jarasandha. And we can obviously see the parallels between what's going on in our world today and what was happening at the time with Jarasandha. Krishna was present with his associates, and it was much, much easier to dispatch these sort of personalities, right? I mean, think about in today's terms, if Jarasandha was actually ruling. He was basically invincible. He had unlimited armed forces, unlimited trained armed forces that he could deploy. And he also, no one could outsmart him. No one could, beat him in any kind of match. And he was on the outer, he was very favorably disposed to the Brahmanas. He was, and you could hear people were lamenting, his whole kingdom was lamenting when he was dispatched. So he was ruling over a kingdom that, he had some respect, sounds like the residents had some measure of gratitude. That's completely an anomaly for today. Usually when in today's or in the material world, when a ruler has this sort of military might, they're just not a very nice person. I mean, even at the end of each day, Bhima and Jarasandha would go to Jarasandha's castle and sit around and have dinner and, converse and be friendly. And it was a very chivalrous exchange, the fighting and the evening. And, this obviously doesn't exist today. Today, as Prabhupada said, and I wanted to get to this very last thing from Prabhupada in the Krishna book, a demon always creates disturbances, whereas a demigod always tries to keep peace in the world. Peace is mode of goodness. Peace is a godly, sattvic, platform to be on, peace. And there's very few leaders in the world who actually know what peace is, let alone want to promote peace. It's not happening. Maybe there's some smaller countries who are, have a great sort of standard of living, and they're, just kind of keep to themselves. And there are those countries in the world. But by and large in this material world, the persons who are supposed to be stewards are really running amok. And, once someone gets a little bit of power, they say absolute power corrupts absolutely. Then they want to do things like imprison all the kings for whatever reason and try to create so many disturbances with personnel, with their respective subjects or citizens, and what to do now. Krishna's not here to send Bhima to dispatch some of these people, which would be wonderful, and we wouldn't have to be in anxiety. So many people are in anxiety. The whole world's in anxiety. The whole world's in it. Even if they're not directly involved in any of these skirmishes, the whole world's in anxiety because they don't have any knowledge about the truth. They have no knowledge of the Lord. They have no knowledge of how to get out of this material world, how to be peaceful in this material world. They say the demons do not know what to do or what not to do. Means very poor discrimination, or from what I'm seeing, honestly, is very poor fund of intelligence. They just really, quite stupid. And they want to put their head in the sand and enjoy their senses, so they don't choose to be enlightened in any way. So in some ways, it has to be sort of forced or hoisted on people that they have this absolute truth kind of in their, I'll say their wheelhouse, so they can make more informed decisions. They can actually understand why they're here and what they're supposed to be doing, understand good and bad, have that proper discrimination. Right now, even though I'm noticing there's an uptick of religion being injected into world affairs, it's not true religion. It's actually, it's false. It's so many persons' false narratives and perspectives, putting their own spin on what's going on with the world and how the world should be. And there's actually, of course, I'm going to yet again say this, we're in the very, very, very small minority in this world as devotees of the Lord, like true devotees of the Lord, devoted devotees of the Lord, actually devoted. Devoted means we're trying our best to understand the Lord, serve the Lord, and love the Lord. We're trying our best, you know, that's devotion. And we're certainly in very, very, very slim minority in this world. But with the power of Krishna that each and every devotee has inherently in their heart, if they choose to use it, right? If they choose to use it, if we all who are devotees of Krishna know about Krishna, if we're able to purify ourselves to that level that we can actually open up our arsenal, our personal arsenal, to be able to conquer the hearts and minds of one person at a time in this world, just one person, you know, it's a snowball effect, and it seems like a monumentous task for the devotees of the Lord, for the devotees of Krishna. It's a monumentous task. But we're small and mighty, you know, small but mighty group of very sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada, very sincere lovers of the Lord. And we can use that to our advantage. That's our great weapon. That's our great power as Vaishnavas. Our great power as Vaishnavas is to give Krishna to others, to be able to impart even a little bit of this knowledge, of this absolute truth onto others, you know. And sometimes people do need to just have it hoisted on them, because many times people are so in a traumatized state that they're not really able to see outside themselves, you know. It's all about self-preservation in this day and age. Persons can't really see beyond, you know, how they themselves are able to move in the world. They can't see beyond that. So what to speak of seeing how others are moving in the world? That's another power that the Vaishnavas have, you know. Since we have some knowledge of the absolute truth, we can certainly go forth with courage and bravery and be able to express that to others in a way that people can understand. Sometimes persons can only take a tiny, tiny bit, but even if they take that tiny bit, and again, that snowball effect does take effect, you know, then they'll be fine. There'll be a sea change. It absolutely can happen. I've really been meditating a lot on this lately. It can happen. If everyone just gets on the same page to cooperate in Srila Prabhupada's mission, as Srila Prabhupada wanted us to, you know. So many times, I mean, just look, we were reading the Lilamrita last night, and even in his last days when he could barely function, you know, he was slowing down, he didn't really speak to people a lot like he was in the, you know, the beginning. He was kind of, you know, drawing himself more inward. But he was able to sense that, okay, everyone still needs me, and I still need to be out. So he would force himself to be out, so everyone would be peaceful and satisfied, because, of course, he established this beautiful, you know, this beautiful paradigm at some point. And, you know, when he started to slow down, he wasn't able to give as much of that because he had already given so much to his students. He had given so much, you know, blood, sweat, and tears from his first, you know, months and couple years on Skid Row in New York City. I mean, who has the courage and the bravery to start there with the dregs of humanity and just go up and up and up? I mean, toward the end, he was talking to high-level parliament members in different countries and government officials and great sort of well-known scientists and scholars and educators and professors. He was talking to so many people, from those humble beginnings. Now we're in the time that Prabhupada was in astrologically. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the planets and everything is aligned the same as it was in 1966. Every 60 years, actually, the planets align in the same fashion that they did in that beginning 60 years ago. So we're in the same alignment right now. We have even astrological forces on our side. And when Prabhupada came, it definitely wasn't easy. It wasn't a cakewalk for Srila Prabhupada. He had to go through so much, having his typewriter stolen, living with a madman who was drugged out, just bad conditions, being in New York with no money and no winter clothes, and there's a blizzard. Can you imagine coming from Delhi and that area where they never have seen snow in their life? There's photos of Prabhupada walking around with feet of snow on the ground in New York with just his white rubber shoes. That's all he wore. He had nothing. He had virtually nothing except for this power of bhakti, which we all have. We all have that now. Anyone that follows Prabhupada, anyone in this movement who has the Maha Mantra and has been given this bhakti process, these are weapons in our own personal arsenal to be able to go out and affect a change in people's lives. And it doesn't have to be sweeping or vast. Prabhupada met 1 or 2 people in the beginning that were favorable. He didn't have like this whole cadre of people out right away. It built up over time. Prabhupada wanted all of his boys and girls to be gurus. And there's this big debate about the rubber stamping of that. But guess what? No one needs to be rubber stamped to be a guru. No one. Anyone in any condition of life that knows about Krishna, that has that willingness to step outside and try to give a little to back what Prabhupada has given, pay it forward, they say. Try to give a little bit out to the suffering humanity right now. Anybody has the power to be a guru. Anybody. You don't have to be formally made a guru. You don't have to be, on a list. You can actually just sit down somewhere or walk around and talk to people and give out that, play the Brihat Mridanga, which is giving out book distribution, the holy names, prasadam, all the things, all of those periphery things that, create the in like a pin effect. One little couple cookies, someone does not forget. I can tell you firsthand, someone does not forget. Every time I walk into Brax's now, I've brought them guys cookies a few times, they all light up. And they're so happy to see me, even if I don't have cookies, because, it's an exchange. It's a loving exchange. We need more loving exchanges between devotees and between devotees and people on the street, and of course between people on the street and people on the street, but we need more loving exchanges. And Prabhupada, just draw into Prabhupada, and he will give us the courage and the way to create those in our community, in our in the world. Haribol.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Bhagom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam.
56. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sagara, Edashe Karuna Kori. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sagara, Edashe Karuna Kori. Diya Parachaya Surohe Amaya Tomara Charana Dori. Diya Parachaya Surohe Amaya Tomara Charana Dori. Jaya Begadomi Jaya Dosha Shori Jaya Guna Deo Dashe. Jaya Begadomi Jaya Dosha Shori Jaya Guna Deo Dashe. Jaya Satsanga Deho He Amare Posechi Sengera Se. Jaya Satsanga Deho He Amare Posechi Sengera Sashe. Ekaki Amara Nahi Baya Bala Harinama Sankirtane. Ekaki Amara Nahi Baya Bala Harinama Sankirtane. Tumi kripa gori strada vinturia Deo Krishna namadane Tumi kripa gori strada vinturia Deo Krishna namadane Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro tomara shakati ache Krishna se tomara Krishna dite paro tomara shakati ache Amido Gangala Krishna Krishna Boli Daidava Pache Pache Amido Gangala Krishna Krishna Boli Daidava Pache Amido Gangala Krishna Krishna Boli Daidava Pache Pache Amido Gangala Krishna Krishna Boli Daidava Pache Pache Ohe Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Eda Shekaruna Kori Ohe Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Eda Shekaruna Kori Diya Parachaya Sorohe Amaya Tomara Charana Dori Diya Parachaya Sorohe Amaya Tomara Charana Dori Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya, Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Golokananda, Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe. Radha Goloka Nanda, Radha Goloka Nanda Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. O Venerable Vaishnava, O Ocean of Mercy, be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just 1 drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply running behind you, shouting, Krishna, Krishna. Vanchakopa Trubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. That means Vaishnavas are like desire trees and are filled with compassion for the fallen, conditioned souls. We must embody that. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitanam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Patipadam Purnam Niswadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Banam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarni Dami Amitas
Manavena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Dadam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Rahoita Kitwai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishameva Vambuddha Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajachim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gurudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vabhukada Tavanamagrahaneba Vishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravishayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Padamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahatakarotuva Yatatava Vidadatu Lampato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as the Adam at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Shastra Ki Jai. And a reminder that we're having Harinam Sankirtan tomorrow in Chapel Hill. We'll be at the front of the post office from 4 to 6. It's going to be a nice day. Please come and join the Sankirtan party tomorrow. And thank you, Sundari Radha, for dressing their lordship, Sri Sri Radha Golokananda, in such a effulgent, incredibly like electric-looking outfit here. So nice. And then thank you to Ma Mantra Prabhu for making nice breakfast for the lordships. Haribo.